DORK Podcast with Rich Keefe. It's the DORK Podcast and Davey. It's the DORK Podcast. Hashtag. It's the hashtag DORK Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Hashtag Dork. My name is Rich Keefe, joined as always by Davey Eyeballs. He is Rave Von Dave. He is promo code Ron Von D. All hail the king of ginger ale. It's Ryan Davey. Davey, how are you?
I'm good now. I'm as an audiophile as you know that I am. I knew something was a bit off with the soundtrack there. It sounded a little bit different, and then you hit me with it. You didn't tell me that was going to happen.
Oh, I did not. That's our guy Opie the Poet coming through.
The DORK Podcast with Rich Keefe. It's the DORK Podcast and Davey.
So it was funny. Like I noticed that he came in with the Rich Keefe a little earlier,
a little bit quicker. And he came to me last week, and I was like, "Oh, this is perfect." Because I asked him a while ago. He's a busy guy, by the way. Congratulations to Opie. He and his wife are expecting their first child. And he actually sent, in addition to this new open, he goes, "Do you think you guys could spend a couple of minutes talking about dork dads to daughters?"
Yeah, I could spend a lot of time talking to you about that. And
maybe
just know that
we'll shelve that. Maybe we'll put that at the end of a podcast. We could you know how you used to do like a PSA for like this? Maybe that's what we sort of add at the end of our podcast, is just sort of like a little daddy daughter update tip, a little life hack.
Okay.
You know,
all right.
Like
Yep.
that might not be bad. I don't know. So you're in the open now, and
I'm in the open now. Yeah, I'm official.
Just starting to tinker with opens myself. And if anybody was at the live show, first of all, thank you for coming out to the live show last week at Idle Hands. I tinkered with that open, that master class of an open that was put together there. So I was like, I could tinker with something. I could put Davey's name in it, and then lo and behold, check the old inbox from Opie the Poet. Boom.
Check the spam file. There's a spam folder. There it was. He did it 6 months ago. We just found it.
In
Thanks,
all
Ope.
glory. Yeah, Opie nailed it. Absolutely crushed it. So thank you very much for that. We have a lot to get to on the program, Ryan. So what do you say we dive right in?
Let's do it.
This week in DORK.
Let's start Marvel news, because that's what people seem to care about the most. We got our final trailer for Eternals, which comes out November 5th. And Ryan, I could be wrong. In fact, I've been wrong many times in my life. This, to me, doesn't look great. And I dare anybody who liked the trailer. That's fine if you did. People differ all the time on things. I'm not going to tell you what to like and what not to like. Watch it again and pretend it's not associated with Marvel and tell me you'd be interested in it.
Yeah, the other thing that was weird, too, to me was that I feel like they shoehorned that line in about Captain Rogers and Tony Stark being gone, just to remind people that this is in the same house.
100%. And because they know one of the big questions, and they're going to get into it in the movie. They're like, so why didn't we help when Thanos was around?
Well, then
they only defend the Earth from very specific things. From Thanos or Ultron or Red Skull, or go on down the line. And
those are small potatoes.
MCU movies. They don't get out of bed for anything more than one of these crazy creatures from who knows where.
Well, the other thing that I found really funny too is they talk about that, and then they say, and who's going to lead the Avengers now? And I don't even know the character's name, but it's Robb Stark from Game of Thrones.
Right. Yeah.
And he's like, I could do it, and everyone starts laughing, but you don't know that character yet, so you don't know why that's funny.
Yeah, that's King of the North. That guy could probably get it done.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, we don't know who that character is, so like, why is that funny?
I don't. Yeah, it is a little jarring too to have Jon Snow and Robb Stark in it.
That is confusing.
Angelina Jolie looked good though.
She did. So does Selma Hayek, friend of the podcast.
Right, very close friend of the podcast.
Yep.
So I mean, listen, I'll watch it.
We're gonna watch it.
I'm gonna see.
It's gonna be a standalone, but cut it out.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, I think it could be a pleasant surprise, honestly, because I'm going in with low expectations. But when the first trailer came out, I remember I did the side-by-side on Twitter at Dork Podcast of the cast of Eternals and the cast of Inhumans. And not that the star power is the same, but just like the costumes were very similar. And you're like, Oh boy. That
Yep. I don't know.
They can't all be hits. They're not going to have B+ or better on every single movie the rest of the way. Well,
Have they set the bar a little too high though? Is that if we
possible?
Possible.
Speaking of, we got news that Anthony Mackie, Captain America,
I know who Anthony Mackie is. Yes,
he will be in Captain America 4.
So Captain America is going to be in Captain America.
That was breaking news over the week.
That's breaking news.
So what I found funny was because it was like, to me, such a non-story, but let's just say they filmed Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
They had the script, they shot it, they filmed it, they put it out. And they hadn't yet signed Anthony Mackie on for Captain America 4. Couldn't he have held out for like $1 billion? Like,
probably.
You kind of need me now. I'm pretty important to the franchise.
Yeah, he probably could have.
Like, what point? How is Marvel negotiating? Like, you know what? We would love to have you back as Captain America. He's like, yeah, I know. I was in the fucking suit at the end. I'm the guy.
People called me that.
It was very important. It's a pretty imperative part of the.
I mean, I'm guessing that we're just getting confirmation now. I'm sure he signed some like multimedia, multi-title deal, behind the thing, like all these actors had. I think, they had Chris Evans was tied up for 6 movies or something like that, so I'm sure he's doing the same thing now.
Yeah.
They just kind of put ink to paper and we're like, okay, we're good.
Yeah. It's just like all these websites had it. I'm like, yeah, what a scoop.
So the other thing too, not to jump all over the This Week in Dork here, but we got some leakage. We need a new segment, leakage. Something they got leaked.
Oh.
Leakage in the 9th. Yeah. So this whole thing started. Spider-Man No Way Home trailer got leaked, and it turned out to be. I didn't watch it because I won't watch it until I can see everything on the screen. But it was basically a cell phone. What I'm told, it was a cell phone video of someone's cell phone showing the unfinished trailer. But you could make out certain people. I'm not going to tell you who it was, but you can make out certain people were in it.
Well, then there's also JB Smooth. I don't know if you saw what.
I believe it. Smooth.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
JB Smooth.
Yeah.
Friend of the podcast, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I had talked to him once. Did you see what he said?
No, I did not.
I mean, I feel weird because it's spoilers, but at the same time, it's all out there. So should I say what he said?
Ahead. Yeah.
Basically, he can't wait to see Tom Holland and Tobey Maguire share the screen together.
Like we just assumed that was.
We kind of assumed anyway. But this is the movie, and we talked about it during our live show with Mac and Goo. Of any movie could have pulled it off, this is the movie that should have had no trailer. Do you think it would?
Oh no, yeah.
At all? Like just the rumors alone.
You don't need it.
I don't need a trailer. In fact, the trailer is going to probably piss me off because they're going to show you one or two things too much.
Well, okay. So one of the I'll show you the two people who they mentioned, who they saw in the trailer, that being Jamie Foxx and Alfred Molina. So like
one of those guys was great. One of them was terrible.
Well, Jamie Foxx looks like Jamie Foxx. He doesn't look like the dorky.
Was that a toupee, you piece of shit?
Right. They had him in like the bald cap.
Yeah.
A phone recorded a video of another phone Instagram story of a watermarked trailer with an unfinished CGI finished.
And they had one scene of Alfred Molina as Doc Ock, and this is what he said.
Get the fuck out of here!
Nope, I fucked that up. All right, ready? Like I'm gonna have it back.
Okay.
They had a scene of Alfred Molina.
Yes.
Full Doc Ock attire.
Yep.
And this is what he said.
Too much fucking shit on me. I can't breathe.
Still good.
It's still good. It's still good. You fucked it up. It's still good. Yeah. So I didn't watch it yet. I won't watch it until I can actually watch it for real. But I just assume that everybody who's rumored to be in it, including Matt Murdock, is in it.
Oh my God. I know. Karen Page, right?
Yep. She said it wasn't her.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
She's like seen like out there with.
She went shaggy on it. Wasn't me.
Yeah. Hey, Ryan, this is sort of under the Disney umbrella. So we go from Marvel to Star Wars news. Mm-hmm. We tweeted this out again at Dork Podcast. You can follow us there on Twitter and on Instagram. And we had the trailer for Star Wars Visions, which is coming out. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I skipped something.
You skipped something.
I'm fucking frazzled.
You are fucking doing laundry. You're all rattled. Yeah.
There is, episode 2 of What If, the Disney
Yes.
Plus Wednesday night show. Episode 1 I didn't care for. That was the What If Peggy Carter was Captain America. Didn't care for it.
Okay, talk to me about episode 2.
Loved it.
Correct. You did, because it was excellent.
It was a 6 out of 6.
Mhm.
It was if Black Panther became a Star-Lord. But what they did, so my big problem with the first one was they're like, what if these two characters switched? And then they were like, it wouldn't affect anything else in the world. It's just one character would then live the other character's life.
They just switched, yeah.
Whereas that's not how a what if would work. If you ever watched the great film Butterfly Effect,
Right.
you realize that one slight change can affect everything. And that's what they did in episode 2. So Black Panther becomes a Star-Lord. Everybody's different. And I'm not going to spoil it for people who haven't seen it. It's definitely worth your 30 minutes. And this is what I was looking for after the first episode. Didn't get it. I think there's 7 more episodes, and hopefully they're more like this, where it just a massive change to the universe.
And we would be remiss if we didn't mention the fact that Chadwick Boseman nails once again the character of T'Challa and what he's all about. And I loved that everybody came back for this. So, you've seen it. Josh Brolin is Thanos, Karen Gillan, Michael Rooker,
Del Toro,
Jimon Hansu, like they're all in it. Like everyone from Seth Green comes back as Howard the Duck.
How about Kurt Russell's in it?
Kurt Russell, no Chris Pratt though.
Oh, that wasn't Pratt.
That wasn't Chris Pratt. No, but
was that? I couldn't tell. Was that Dave Bautista? Because he was in it quick.
I don't think so.
Yeah, maybe
and there was a thing that they never asked him.
Oh, weird.
He was kind of pissed about it. Like they never asked him, but literally everybody else was back. So it was strange.
So Chadwick Boseman obviously steals the show, and he's great in it. It's not just great to have him in it. He puts on an unbelievable voice performance. The close second to me, Karen Gillan as Nebula,
like non-messed up Nebula.
Awesome.
She was great. Yeah.
And then their relationship together. I need more of that.
And Benicio del Toro was fucking awesome. As the bad guy collector was great. I'm sorry. Yeah. It's been a good.
I'm sure most people have seen it. Either way, you watch it anyway. It's a ton of fun.
So I'm glad that this turned around for. I didn't hate the first episode as much as you did. I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
I thought it was a nice little dip your toe in because this is going to get really weird. And Mac brought up she calls him Cha-Cha, which is like the greatest. The name of Jeff, which is the greatest nickname.
Cha-Cha. Cha-Cha.
Yeah.
The way she does it and her voice is just great. I love Nebula. All right.
Speaking of voices, so my wife and I watched the Suicide Squad again because we both love it.
Yeah, why not?
And I started doing Rick Flag voices as Rick Flag was saying them.
You do impeccable Rick Flag.
She was impressed until she wasn't, until she was like, okay, stop.
And then very annoyed.
She's like, you got to start moving your mouth when you talk to me.
No, that's not how Rick Flag does it.
That's not how as I said, that's a spot on impression. That's the best one I do.
Flag rolls.
Yeah.
That guy is horrible. All right. This is the news I was trying to get to. I was so excited I skipped the what if part.
Yes.
Star Wars Visions. This is going to be an animated show on Disney Plus that comes out September 22nd. And it's pretty interesting. So I'm just going to read to you what it says here from the Wikipedia.
And I'll tell you what I think. Go ahead.
Star Wars Visions is an upcoming animated anthology TV series. Its initial release will comprise of 9 anime-inspired original short films from various Japanese animation studios that present a different cultural perspective to Star Wars. What do you think of that?
First and foremost, it looks fucking sick. Like this looks awesome. Some of the anime houses they've used, and they're very reputable animation studios that they've used, they've outsourced this to. This is going to give you, remember the Animatrix? Remember when they did, like the Matrix came out and then it was like a DVD or straight to DVD, the Animatrix, where they hired all of these, or like Love, Death, and Robots or something like that, where they tell these one-off stories, but they do it through this lens of this very stylized anime thing. Now, George Lucas himself said that the Jedi were modeled after Japanese samurai. Even Darth Vader's costume is an old samurai helmet that is made to look sci-fi. So the stuff is there, right? And I feel like this has been now they can actually do it, and this is going to be awesome.
Yeah,
I'm
actually pumped.
The good is going to be unbelievable, and then there's going to be some that are like, that was fine.
Yeah, probably so. That's probably so. But I'm pretty pumped. Like the short films, I don't really know how long they're expected to be, but I believe they all come out the 22nd.
Great. I will watch them all in a day.
I think they're all out. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Depending on how good it is, maybe we'll do a standalone on it. We'll have to wait and see how it goes. Another thing that is back, just returned last night, the final season 11 of The Walking Dead. And I know you're not caught up, but I'm telling people right now,
yes,
if you gave up on the show, I don't blame you, because so did I. It was terrible for a 2-3 season run. It was awful, but it was great for a while. Then it was terrible. Season 9, I'm telling you, get back in on season. If you don't like season 9, then all right, maybe you never liked the show. That's fine. Season 10 is a little wonky. There's some really good stuff. They got slammed with like having to film through COVID, so then it got kind of weird at the end, and they had all these delays. But episode 1 of season 11, awesome start. And so I am all the way back in on The Walking Dead.
So I need to get up until season 9. I need a recap, and then
it's all on Netflix,
by the way. It's all on Netflix. Okay, so maybe there's like a season recap or something, because I think I stopped 6, maybe. What was
I would watch either YouTube recap videos, or I would just even skim the episode summaries or something like that.
So I think I dipped the first season of Negan.
Oh, so that's a while ago. That was probably 5 or 6.
I think it was 6.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got a long way to go. But
7 and 8 were particularly bad. So just get like a rough like what's going on, where they are, who's alive, who's dead.
Okay.
And then season 9 is, I'm telling you, it is a treat.
It is a hoot.
You'll rip through 9. You'll rip through it. Wrestling news, Ryan. I got some wrestling news for you.
Yeah.
It was a massive wrestling weekend. You had AEW's Friday night show, then you had SummerSlam, then you had NXT TakeOver. But the big news of the weekend, CM Punk is back. He made his debut on AEW on Friday night in Chicago, his hometown. The pop was insane. People were going ape shit for it.
Grown men crying, I saw. Yep.
Tears. Yeah, he'd been out of the game 7 years, and he is back, and looks like they're cooking with gas over there, AEW.
It's funny when you say AEW, I think you're saying ANW, like the root beer. I know you're not, but
it's all elite wrestling.
I know, and I'm starting.
Yep.
Well, you do bring it.
That's what The Rock used to say.
Yes. I like that this AEW is generating a lot of buzz. I think that whatever WWE is doing is just basically they trot out these guys for like cheap, what do they call it? Cheap heat. When you do something like, is going to get a cheer.
Yeah.
Like they'll bring out like some old timer, like Edge now is like a champion. Like who gives a shit?
Cheap heat would be like if you want people to be cheap heat would be out there. You go, like everybody in the city of Boston sucks. Like,
all right, so that's so it's basically the positive equivalent of that, where it's like we know that Edge, people are going to cheer for Edge, so let's truck him out there, even though he hasn't been relevant in like 10 years.
Well, he's one of the better things they have, to be honest, right now.
That's what I'm saying. So like he was big in what 2001, 99, 20 years ago, big fucking deal. Like I love that like Jericho is starting to do this thing where it's starting to like
he changes up all the time.
But who is the guy? He's Aleister Black, not Aleister. Yeah. Who's the guy? Aleister Black.
Now he's called. Yeah, he's out. He was Aleister Black in WWE. Now
what's
he's
he called
Malachi
now?
Black.
Malachi Black. So I'm like that. First of all, that's a great name. Second of all, the makeup he had looks sick. Yeah. I'm like, this is what it needs a little bit more like.
I love
Edge,
that guy.
You know?
He actually was on Jericho's podcast when he joined over there, and like he has such a good mind for the business. I like that guy a lot. So I mean, things are looking up over there. But that's with anything, you need competition.
Right.
It's WWE maybe will have to get better because of all this.
Well, not to steal from the video game minute, but there is one title right now that has no competition, and you can definitely see the fucking cracks in that thing. You know where I'm going with that. I
saw the trailer during SummerSlam. I was watching SummerSlam. Oh, by the way, as we're in the chat, Mortis X, Brock Lesnar showed up with like a man bun. I don't know if you saw it. So Brock Lesnar, so basically, Brock Lesnar shows up. Everybody goes crazy for him, and then he'll leave for a while, and then I'm sure Vince McMahon has to throw him a ton of money because they're like, oh, he's a real fighter, so we'll bring him back, get that cheap pop that you're talking
Cheap
about.
pop, yeah.
So this time he shows up. Roman Reigns beats who did he beat? Cena,
which again,
yeah.
Why is Cena doing that? Why is he still wearing jean shorts? What the
Peacemaker,
hell's happening?
Peacemaker's in there. So Reigns wins. Then Lesnar shows up in like a black tank top, jeans, and like a little like ponytail.
Samurai knot. Like, what are you doing?
Like,
what are you doing?
I'm like, guys, CM Punk's back, right? I'm not watching this.
Yeah, and he gave out ice cream. I saw too.
He did ice cream for everybody in Chicago. That's
awesome.
a nice guy. That's a nice guy.
That's a class move.
I just need Bray Wyatt to show up in AEW, and then I am locked in. That'd be DVR on the program the rest of the way. So, that's the news. Ryan, I forgot to grab a should I have bought this, but let me just say a couple of things.
Yes.
We will continue to do them on the podcast. We had a bunch of submissions. We burned through them during the live show. We even had a friend of the podcast, Wesley, bring in an item.
Yes, I believe they were anal beads. I've never heard of them before, but he said it was some sort of rosary.
Yeah.
Anal beads.
Yep. Yeah. Good deal on them, though. He paid just under 30 for them. It seems like a good buy to me. I think they were dishwasher safe. So that's fine.
I found one, so I can. We don't have a should I have bought this? We forgot, but I can say this too. I did see it was one of those like scam sites, but I almost didn't mind. I almost got fired. But hear me out, okay?
Yeah, I'm hearing you out.
A working with LED lights, so like programmable LED lights, a workable Daft Punk helmet.
You don't want
for $50. Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, it displayed right there, lighting up and shit. I would absolutely get that.
Yeah.
For it, but it was like 40. It was like $395, marked down to $49.95, and I'm like, "There's no way. There's no way.
Fuck out of here!"
I was gonna get fired.
Yeah, you would have been fired, especially if it wasn't symmetrical. You would have definitely been fired. But you can email us at dorkpodcast@gmail.com. Send in your should I have bought this, and we'll get those back up and running again. I forgot to grab one for this week, but it's brought to you by 47 Brand. So go to 47brand.com. They have all kinds of new gear coming out for football season too. And at checkout, type in #DORK as the promo code and get 20% off your entire purchase. So get some stuff for the fall season and you'll be looking pretty sweet. All right, Ryan, let's get to this.
It's time for Davey's video game minute, even if it takes more than a minute.
All right, sir, what do you got?
So we got to talk. Well, first of all, this segment on #Dork is brought to you by our friends at Wild Bill Soda. Go to drinkwildbills.com, use the promo code Ron Von D. Get yourself some soda. Get yourself a nice little mug like this. Richard, tell the people what you have in your hand right now.
I'm drinking a little Wild Bill's Blackberry with Mount Gay rum, which happens to be my favorite rum. Nice rum.
Nice spiced dark rum. Tell the people how you get a lime in there too.
I do. I have two little
wedgie. You get a little wedgie in there too.
Oh, it's delicious.
And it's good. It's great. It's a great mixing soda.
Yes, it is.
So go there, go to drinkwildbills.com, use the promo code, get yourself 20% off. Now, I mentioned this before. So when you don't have competition in the video game world, you get a little complacent.
That's right.
So there was a streamer who got an early access code to Madden 22. And he's so excited. He starts playing as the Kansas City Chiefs. He's like, this is going to be awesome. This looks sick, blah, blah, blah. His team, he loses the coin toss. He's on defense. The kickoff team doesn't show up in the game. Just his team standing out. The game bricks. Like, it's just complete, like, game failure crash on the very first boot up. He's like, well, all right. And he's just, like, running around the field, and there's no kicking team. So I'm so excited to have another football game in the works, just so the people at Madden can stop trucking out the same bullshit every single year. Mm-hmm. It's brutal. Speaking of trucking out bullshit every other month or something like that, Fortnite now has Morty from Rick and Morty in it. And he's in the seat. Remember with the dog was in like that like mech suit? It's It's like Mecha Morty.
Yeah.
Is in Fortnite. When does it end? When does it end?
Oh, jeez, Rick.
Yeah.
Right now.
Like, yeah.
No good.
But so not only that, but then Epic in Fortnite trucks out an imposter mode. So basically, you're just playing Among Us in Fortnite. Like these people haven't had an original fucking idea in years.
You know what needs to happen, Ryan? This might be two birds with one stone. What if they had a football mode where you could just play football and now they're competing with Madden and then maybe you actually get better games?
They did. Remember, they had uniforms. You could actually get football uniforms, but you couldn't actually play football. But still,
play a little 11-on-11 action. But
I'm sure in creative mode, like there is some way to play football, and they've already thought about it. But Jesus, what a fucking! Jesus. I don't know why anyone still plays this game.
No.
One thing I loved coming out of so there was a developer spotlight on the new Guardians of the Galaxy game.
Yeah, right.
And I retweeted it out, and Eric Monticelli, friend of the podcast, producer at Marvel Games, tweeted it out. It was like a behind the scenes look at the game and the music that goes into the game. I think this is genius. So it's all 80s metal inspired and the guy who was the musical director was like, basically, Guardians of the Galaxy are like the rock band of the Marvel Universe. Like they're just kind of like this ragtag group of misfits who get into some shit and whatever. They party, whatever. But the genius thing that they did is the name Star-Lord was actually the name of his favorite band, Peter Quill's favorite band when he was a kid. So that's where he took the name from. So they did all this original like 80s metal music for the game.
Oh, interesting.
And I'm excited. I'm psyched. I think that's a genius idea.
Yeah, that is smart. I just still want you got to be able to play as more than just Star-Lord. That's the problem.
Well, so you play as Star-Lord, but there's a mechanic where like you can tell there's like hotkeys where if you press like L2 and square, like you can tell Groot to go do something and he'll do it. So you're actually all of them.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a game, Metroid Dread, which is coming for Switch. I have not played the last several Metroid games because I didn't like when they went to the first-person shooter.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was very anti-Metroid, but it was very in vogue at the time to do, first-person shooters were obviously the biggest games in the world. Nintendo tries to do this with Metroid. It does well critically and commercially, but wasn't really for me. Metroid Dread is back to the side-scrolling, and forgive me if I say this, Yoshio Sakamoto, who was the producer of the original Metroid and the much-beloved Super Metroid, is back producing this game. So that's very good. So if you're a big Metroid fan, I don't know anybody who doesn't like Metroid.
It's fine. No. I like it. I like it. No, I like it. It's not my favorite game. I like it.
So Super Metroid's the shit, by the way. That should go in the DORK Hall. That should get a nod for the DORK Hall of Fame at some point.
All right. Well, you could have nominated it.
Here, I should have. Here's a question for you. So James McAvoy, as you know, he was doing an interview and he was talking about video games. And he said that his girlfriend, who said partner, but his partner at the time bought him Elder Scrolls Oblivion.
Okay.
And he said he played it so much that he had to physically burn the disc. He had to light the disc on fire so he wouldn't play it anymore. So let me ask you, Richard Keefe, and the audience, what game in your life would you have had to put a literal flame to get you to stop playing?
Oh, man. That is a good question.
Have you ever gotten to the point where you're like, I can't play this game anymore?
Well, it's funny. I mean, maybe back in the day, like when I was younger, like either college football or Madden, I probably played an obscene amount. Like college football, I probably played an obscene amount. Like so many seasons. Like you'd been playing for like 20 seasons or whatever. Because the other games to me that I play for a really long time kind of have their shelf life. Like I play the Batman series until I beat it. I play Grand Theft Auto till I beat it. I play Last of Us till I beat it. I never go back and I'm like, oh, now I have like this extra mode. I just kind of go through the whole story mode. I'll like 100% a game, but then I'm done with it. So it's got to probably be a sports game that you just play like on loop. What about for you?
I think for me, it was probably New Vegas, Fallout New Vegas. I think that, and I think it was Final Fantasy X are the two games I've definitely put over 100 hours into. That's a lot. I mean, that's a lot. The other one, I think, once I hit 10 million points on a single run in Tony Hawk 2, I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I can't play this game anymore.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
We actually played a shitload of Overwatch.
A lot of Overwatch. I don't know the amount of time. I could probably look. We could probably see how much time we've spent playing Overwatch, and it's probably significant.
It definitely is, and that's also one of the games that keeps track of that. So that's why I like remember it, because it goes through and it tells you how many hours you've played as each character.
Right. So I'm thinking like every time we played Overwatch together, it was at least 3 hours.
Right.
Sometimes more.
There that we played 4 or 5 nights a week, probably.
Yeah. It was, it was crazy.
That's bad.
So that's just a question for which game. That'd be a nice little Twitter question. What game would you physically burn?
Yep.
If you had to.
Yep. I like that. I'm gonna tweet that bad boy out.
And that's it for the Davies Video Game Minute. So thank you.
All right, Ryan.
Y'all ready for biz?
Ryan, ready for the topic du jour?
What?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because it's the topic of the day. And today it is Dave Season 2, the FXX show, which is available on Hulu the very next day. 10 episodes, just like Season 1. You can also go back into our archives. We did a standalone episode on Season 1 of Dave, which was one of our favorite shows of, was it last year or the year before? Either way.
It's a year. I think it was 2 years ago.
Either way, it was one of our favorite shows. Let's begin, as we always do, with our TV and movie reviews, spoiler free. Ryan, did you like it?
This is not an easy answer. I have a very complex relationship with this season. Yeah, the short answer is yes, I did.
Okay. But
if we did a mid-season review, it would not have gone that way. If we did from episode 5 in, do you like this season? I would have said absolutely not.
Yeah, I think it kind of turned episode 4, but you're right. At the halfway point, there was less good than bad.
Yes, I would have been like, this is a disaster. And
Yeah, so I liked it too. Oh, speaking of disaster, if you listen to the live show, if you're at the live show or if you listen to it, because we still posted the audio on the channel, we played Damio That Cameo with Goo from the Mac and Goo podcast. He had a series of great cameos, and we had to guess the price. And one of them was co-star of Dave, Gata, which is Little Dicky's real life hype man, who's playing himself in the show. And it's one of our favorite characters. He was coming in at like a really low price point, so he could hit. He was at $40. By the time we went to look on Cameo, he was up to $50. Still a legitimately good, fair price.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it'd be great for the podcast to request a cameo from Gata. And I was like, hey, man, we're big fans. This is for a podcast that we do. And could you just say something like, hey, you're listening to #DORK with Keefe and Davey?
Yep.
He has 7 days on his thing to complete it. I think maybe they all do a cameo, but he has 7 days to do it. He waited until the very last minute on day 7 and declined it. So it didn't expire. He physically saw it. He declined it. And I got an email from Cameo, and it says, here's like a note or a message from Gata. False. All he wrote was false.
It was false. My guess is he got flooded with he gets flooded with cam because like what were we talking? Jenna Jameson is $1,000.
Yeah, I mean,
like people make stupid money on cameos, and he was probably flooded with stuff like this, and it was probably he was probably just copying and pasting false on everybody's. No, he didn't really want to do.
So I don't think so. So here's what happened. Here's a little peek behind the curtain. I've ordered one cameo in my life. You heard it on this.
I heard it. Yep.
It was for Davey's birthday. It was Billy Mitchell. Same thing happened. I put it out. The thing expired and then he DM'd me and was like, hey man, I've been swamped. If you like redo it, I'll have it for you in a day. I was like, all right, yeah, no problem. And he did it. He could have done that. And the thing comes out and it says declined. It says need more information. And so here's the best that I can come up with.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of think he fucked us, but here's the best I can come up with. He also has on his page.
Yeah.
If you're a brand or a business, it's twice the price. It's like $100. I don't consider us a brand or a business.
I know,
but maybe because it's not like a happy birthday thing. Like
right? It's not like to a specific person.
No, like we're gonna play it on the podcast.
Yeah.
But my only complaint is why didn't he just say, "Hey man, like I consider you this. If you throw me an extra 50, I'll do it." And then I would have said, "I'm good." But either way, I don't know why he wouldn't have done that.
Because he just wanted to write false and be done with it. By the way, still friend of the podcast, Gata. Gata has liked and retweeted stuff that I've said before. So he's still technically a friend of the podcast. So I'm not going to let this bump him out. He's not getting the Chuck Teats treatment.
Not my friend.
Not my friend. He's my
not
friend.
My
right?
friend. Not friends with him. After that little episode, I don't know what the hell happened.
That little stunt, Gata. You But anyway, so I'm looking at the episodes right now.
He absolutely porked us.
He did pork us. But episode 5 is Bar Mitzvah. That's the one that it started to turn around a little bit.
All right. Yeah,
So
we'll go
first,
through the episodes. We'll go through them. I think season 1 was better.
Wire to wire, yeah. Like
all
looking
the way
at it as a whole, yeah. Season 1 was way better.
Yeah. Man.
Still rattled that Gata thing, huh?
Yeah. So then I DM'd him again and I said,
Give me that.
Give me that cameo.
Well, I wonder if we get that guy.
And then I'm like, oh yeah, that'd be a better buy.
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
is Tim Robinson on Cameo?
I was thinking about it yesterday and I'm like, I just asked somebody else for a goddamn cameo. Like, what am I doing with my life? And then I'm like, it would have been pretty cool though. It would have been fun. And then he just wrote false.
False.
What do I do with that information? What is that?
What if we got Carl Havoc to do a cameo for the podcast?
Is he on there?
No, I don't think so.
Too much fucking shit on me. I can't breathe.
All right, so season 1 was definitely better, but season
way
2
better. Yeah.
Who is your favorite character just from season 2?
You really want me to answer that?
I think so.
It's Gata.
Oh no!
Mine's Mike. Mike was hilarious. I think Mike had the highest batting average of like lines to jokes or like to laughs or just screen time to like. I think he maximized his screen time the most.
It was funny because what's the guy's name? Andrew Santino or something like that.
Yeah, I think he's like a comedian, isn't he?
And he stinks. Like I watched one of his stand-up specials on Prime, and it stinks.
He's so good though in this show. Like
he's so good in the show. But he's doing
his reactions to both Dave and Gata and like how he interacts with both of them absolutely kill me. I love him.
And it's funny. So he's from Chicago. We talk about Chicago already. He's from Chicago, and he does a stand-up special from Chicago.
Okay.
Talking about Chicago to Chicago people and barely gets a laugh. Like things that only happen in Chicago to Chicago people, and it barely gets a laugh. Like that's how not great the stand-up was.
I also love Allie, and that's why season 1 was better than season 2 because there's more of Allie in the first season.
Yeah, and I think not to get too spoilery, but I think her not being in it as much worked. I'm trying to like say this without saying too much, before getting into spoilers. I know
what you're saying.
Yeah, that character grounded him a little bit. Like when he was being weird, be like, no, we live in like the real world, and you know, you need to be a human being for a second. You know,
who do you think was? Do you think Gata was also the funniest character, or did you just like him most because he was the most well-rounded?
No, I actually think this. I think I laughed. Benny Blanco is pretty funny, but I also think that Dave's dad specifically, he delivers one. He asks him what his favorite color is, and his answer is tan.
Amazing, amazing tan.
And I think he says it goes with everything. I like it because it goes with everything.
He's like, your favorite color is tan.
Nobody has ever said that. Favorite color is tan.
What show can you think of off the top of your head? Is there another show that, and there's got to be, but that combines laughs with like real kind of emotion? Like I didn't cry, but I saw a lot of people on Twitter saying that there were certain parts where they cried, and I definitely could see where there were times where you could have. I'm trying to think like who combines that as well, because it's tough because a lot of shows are just straight up comedies, like It's Always Sunny and Curb and Seinfeld and The Office. I mean, The Office would try to get like personal, but like no,
because I feel like what they're doing here is these are real people, and this is
right,
a heightened sense of who they are. Like Gata is Gata. Like that's who he is.
Right. Yeah.
Little Dicky is Little Dicky. That's who he is. Like, and I think it's just that goosed a little bit. I think they goosed him a little bit.
Goosed him a little bit. It's
like a little bit. It's a goose suit. But I think it comes from a place of it's genuine. It's honest.
Yeah. The show's got a lot of feelings. Is what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
They got a ton of feelings in there.
Yeah.
What would your hashtag dork score be just for the season?
This would be 4.5 for me, dog.
I'm gonna go 5.
Mm-hmm.
I think by the end it ramped up enough to get it to a 5. But again, for people that bailed after the first 2 or 3 episodes, we both get it. But I would go back and finish the series. You're gonna like it a lot more. So I'm gonna go with a 5. Anything else non-spoiler you want to hit on?
No, sir.
Okay. Oh, so actually, we gotta ask a very important question on the podcast here. This is top 2 important questions. Is it
laser beam? It's better than fireballs, you pussy.
Is it better than Fireballs, you pussy?
I think the show as a whole is better than Fireballs. I don't know if it's full laser beams, but it's better than Fireballs for sure.
That's probably fine.
Yeah.
Spoilers! Here come the spoilers!
All right, spoilers. So again, Dave's journey. So he's a little bit more established after season 1. And again, season 1 ends. The whole thing with him at the Breakfast Club is awesome. Mm-hmm. And so now he's getting a little bit of momentum, but he's going to put out that first album. So this is what we're dealing with here in the whole seasons. Like, so people know who he is, but he's still not super established, but he's staying up in that sweet place to try to like get the album done. And I don't know, like he sees like this as his job is kind of where we're headed. But again, it's very different. He doesn't have his girlfriend anymore. He still has Gata. He still has Mike, but even Els, his former best friend, is kind of not really around as much. And so I think what they're really trying to hype up the first 3 episodes is just how like narcissistic he is.
Yeah. And I think that was what turned a lot of people off because again, if you just watch the first 4 episodes, it's self-indulgent bullshit. Like, and him going through problems that aren't really problems. Mm-hmm. Like to anybody, the whole thing with the ants, like he keeps going to Mike, he keeps going to the record company about like this whole thing with ants. Buy a fucking can of Raid and spray it. Like that's an easy problem to fix.
Yeah.
Or,
right. He couldn't write the album. And then so he was always trying to do something else.
But he was just kind of making excuses for why he wasn't doing it, and then I really hate it. I think my least favorite episode now, looking at the whole season back, was the first episode. The first episode was the one with him in Korea.
Yeah. International Gander is the first episode of the season. They're in South Korea. He's trying to make a music video. And it's just between the stuff with the intern and just like what a dickhead he is.
Yeah.
Then there is a pretty interesting thing. So then they're in the police station, and then Mike thinks that he has all these songs on the laptop.
It's like, what about your laptop? And he's like,
there's nothing on there. There's no songs. Yeah, but that was frustrating.
Can we discuss too that the name of the album that he lands on very quickly made me laugh every time someone said it, which was Peanut.
It's funny every time. You're right.
It's funny. That's a funny name.
It is.
Yeah.
Episode 2 was Antsy. That's the name of the episode. So they're back in LA. They're in that sick house from the record label. And there's Els' birthday party where Dave thinks he's going to meet Allie, but he doesn't end up meeting Allie.
Which again,
no highlights here, really.
No, it's a frustrating episode too.
He brings the girl home with him at the end.
Is this the one where Gata's just like walking around too? Like he's in the city and he's just kind of like walking around, or is that the one with?
Oh, it might be. I forget.
Yeah. But again, a frustrating episode because you think you're gonna have he's gonna snap out of it, like he's gonna see Allie, he's gonna snap out of it, it's gonna be fine. And then he's with like one of the Hadid sisters and like Kendall Jenner, and you're just like, what the fuck? And Benny Blanco. By the way, Benny Blanco might be the ugliest person I've ever seen, and I love the fact that he owns that.
Yeah, no, that part's great. So episode 3 is called The Observer, and that's the one where he and Benny Blanco are together the whole time. They're doing like the check thing.
Chuck or yeah, they call each other Chuck or something. Yeah,
I couldn't stand it. I thought it was like so forced. And it was like the two of them, and like I don't care that they're like sucking farts out of each other's assholes. Like it doesn't matter. Like I'm like whatever, that's fine. But I didn't find it that funny. Like I was like, all right, where are we going with this?
Yeah, I didn't understand. And then Gaeta shows up with his friend, and they're basically like, "What the?"
Yeah, right. Like what the?
And
fuck?
it was almost teetering on like homophobic. Like there was a lot of homoeroticism and a lot of borderline homophobia going on in this episode, which made me really uncomfortable.
Yeah, and there was only the only thing that saved the first like 3 episodes was like all line from Gaeta or all line from Mike.
Yes.
Nothing that Dave did was funny or good. There wasn't any Allie in this. And Els, I never really loved Els anyway. So it was just like you needed like one line from like Gaeta. Like when Gaeta's talking about, he was like, I think it was the first episode where he talked about getting sucked. Like stuff like that was kind of funny, but that was kind of it.
Oh, and then what did Gaeta say? Was someone was like, "You have to like blow this dude, or I'm gonna shoot your whole family." And he's like, "It's fine. Everyone's going to heaven.
Everyone's going to heaven." Yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty good.
But again, I mean, I feel like, and this was the one where Mike was like the thing with the recycling or like the garbage cans or some shit, and he was just freaking out about the garbage cans.
Yeah.
And I think one of the up until this point, I mean, we can talk about the season as a whole now. I mean, everybody's doing what, and this comes around too. This gets resolved in the episode with the birds, with his parents, that Dave expects people to do everything for him.
Right.
And then everyone starts to kind of go their own way.
Mm-hmm.
And he can't deal with that.
Right. Oh, yeah.
If that makes any sense.
He's very, very selfish.
Yeah.
So, episode 4 is the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar episode.
Just a weird.
It is weird. Now, that song, and you can check that out on YouTube. Like, it's pretty hilarious. Like, the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar song is a pretty good song. So that was also one of the other things that bothered me is like, I needed more music. Like, he is good. Like, I like a lot of his songs. And the few times that he raps in season 1, like not just the Breakfast Club, but there's also when he's in that like trailer, he raps. He has the thing when he's in jail, like that whole song. When he does like the quick little song with Allie, like I like all that. And I was hoping to get. Now I knew it'd be greedy to get a song an episode, but I was hoping for maybe like one every other episode or something. And we didn't have much. And again, until the end, which kind of saved it for me.
And I think what saved it too is like by this point in the season, I was so frustrated with him. And I remember saying, I forget who I said it to. It might have been you. It might have been someone in like a group chat. I was like, one of the things that season 1 had going for it is I liked everybody.
All the characters were likable.
All of them. Yeah. And up until episode 5, none of them were likable. You would say, except for, I mean, but like.
Yeah, Gaeta probably was, but not anymore after the whole cameo stunt.
Because we skipped over the whole thing with Allie when he shows up and she's like all fucked up. And he was like puking on her back and like all that stuff. Like that was sad, and I didn't like her.
Puked on her back a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit, but that was better. But episode 5, the bar mitzvah one.
Yeah,
I really like this episode because at this point I hate both Dave and Els.
Yes,
Els is being a dick. Dave's being neurotic and get into like white privilege and your problems aren't real problems and all this stuff. But Els and Dave meet at this bar mitzvah. They're going to do this show. They're getting paid a stupid amount of money, right? And they wind up playing this pickup basketball game and basically working it out.
I love it. Yep.
And I think I said in a tweet, I was like, what I love about this episode, I'm 40 years old. Doing something like that with my childhood friends, it would inevitably end in like a fucking the way it ended with them talking shit to each other, like amicable, but like there'd be a little bit of shoving. It would get a little rough, I think that's just how you grow up with people you've known your whole life. Is just that's how you fall into that same pattern as one does. And I thought that was very good of them, like getting in trouble and getting thrown out of the thing. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, like one takeaway I have from both seasons is it's really well acted. And like two of the guys, like Dave and Gaeta, aren't actors, but they're and I know they're playing themselves, but still, you have that comfort level in front of the camera. And some of their scenes aren't just either rapping or telling jokes. Like it's serious stuff, and you believe the whole stuff between Dave and Els. And so I like that because that was weird. Like you weren't rooting for either one. You're like, both these guys are being assholes.
And I would say I would never ever play you in basketball one-on-one.
No,
I wouldn't.
We have different skill sets.
We have different skill sets. But if I did, it would definitely be like there would be some like a little elbow in the back and a little fuck you and like
push, little shove.
The you calling a foul and be like, shut up, it's not a fucking foul.
I don't call fouls. That's one. I don't call fouls. Anybody who's ever played pickup basketball with me, you can tackle me. I will not call a foul
because you don't want to be that guy. I'll be like, it's a foul.
And because I also expect you not to call a foul. That's how you play.
So that's how you play.
But also, how good was it? Like the bar mitzvah kids are like fucked up. Like when they walk in on him, and they like one guy with like he's got like a hood on, and he's like naked or whatever, and they're like, what was that? Like I don't know. We gotta go.
The other thing was
in there.
Mike was great in this episode too with the dad.
Hilarious, just making up stuff, making stuff up when he's talking about his kid. He doesn't have a kid, doesn't have a wife, and he's telling the guy, the dad there, about his kid and how he coaches him in Little League. And he's like, listen, I'm telling him, I'm like, when you run through that bag, you got to run through the bag because if you take a left, you're live. And when he said that, I fucking lost it. It's like, you're live. You got to go run straight through the bag. I tell him that every time. You got to run straight.
Go right. Yeah.
Or you're live.
Look over your right shoulder and you go right. Yeah.
But then didn't he say like his kid was sick or like his wife was sick? You're like,
something like that. It was like the fucking
it was on
classic cars.
Yeah.
He's got 3 Novas.
Triples
of the Novas.
Triples is best.
Yeah.
that episode definitely started to push it in the right direction. The 6th episode titled Somebody Date Me. This is the one with Doja Cat.
Yeah.
This was awesome. I love
this
episode. And I was like kind of frustrated that the two didn't actually have a date, but I'm like, you know what? This is actually better. This is how it should have gone.
And the conversation they were having was so charmingly weird and funny. When we both, my wife and I, she says one that can we work blue a little bit on the podcast?
Might as well start now.
She makes mention of her. I'll do this as delicately as I can. Of her lady parts being fat.
Yes. And
my wife and I look at each other. It's like, is that good? Like we're old enough. And I was like, that good? And then Dave says on the show, he's like, I don't know. Is that good?
Yeah. I don't know.
He was talking about like holding their wedding ceremony there.
Right.
And that might be an issue because he's got a big family.
Right.
And she's like, don't worry, my fat.
Right.
And he's like, I don't know if that's good. I don't know.
Awesome. Like the back and forth was so good. And you're like, oh, yeah. He's gonna hook up with her. And then when he's showing his dad pictures of her,
and he comes in his pants. And he comes in his pants. He's like, are you familiar with Doja Cat? When he's in, Mike finds him in the dressing room.
Yeah, Mike's gonna like completely take care of the whole situation.
Fucking clean him up. He's gonna buy the khakis for him.
Mr. Bird, what is the problem?
Are you familiar with Doja Cat? I love it. I love it.
I think a Doja Cat cameo is. It's probably.
I don't know. She's probably too big to even do it now.
Yeah, that's true. She's gonna be on there.
She's like one of the biggest like pop stars in the world right now. I don't think she's gonna cameo for us. I wish she would though.
So then episode 7 is called Ad Man. And so this is the one where he first goes to the freestyling class or whatever the thing was. And that was not great. And then it also shows him working with Emma. So it's like old school Dave doing all that stuff and like the pitch. But you even see kind of how he's selfish then. Like not to the point where he's at now. But you sort of see the beginning of that.
But it was also cool to see that him because I always thought that Emma was Allie's friend.
Oh, right. No.
And that's not the case. They actually worked together and that, whatever. But I loved seeing that relationship where it started and then kind of where it ended up, where he doesn't really think she can do it. And it's funny too, because I think in the last episode, she's watching she's still working there. Like if you watch that, she's watching it on her computer and it looks like the same cubicle. So she's still working at that place.
Oh,
but she wants to direct, and she's directing Gata's video.
She wants to do all that stuff. Right.
Right. And basically do what he did. Now, the most important part of this episode, how fucking good was the Mountain Dew rap?
Awesome.
Unbelievable.
You finally got something there because it was so frustrating that he couldn't break through. And it was like, anytime like a rapper who you know is good struggles to rap, you just go back to 8 Mile. And like, all I can think of is like, all right, like we've seen it done before where Eminem struggles. I'm talking about like the hip hop thing or whatever that they were doing for that reality show. But then you're right. Then you flash back and then you see him doing the Mountain Dew thing. And you're like, that would have sold. That would have moved product.
Absolutely crushed it.
That would have pretty good.
Oh, breaking news.
Yeah, what?
Spider-Man No Way Home trailer just dropped.
Just now.
Okay.
Well.
All right. Well, we will watch that
Right.
as soon as I'm out of here.
All right. I'm gonna tweet that out. So let me just get to that here real quick. So tweet that out from the podcast live. We should do some sort of no. Should we watch it? What should we do?
No, we shouldn't watch it. But it's there. It's 3 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
Holy smokes. Sorry for the breaking news. We forgot during the Dork News Flash.
Oh yeah, do I have that? Let's do it.
Now, a hashtag Dork News Flash.
That's right, folks. The Spider-Man No Way Home trailer is out, and we have just tweeted it out from Dork Podcast. So if you've somehow not seen it, go over to Dork Podcast right now.
Right now.
We want to do like a live watch and comment.
Want to do a live reaction? Let's do it.
Let's do that. All right. Start yours at the beginning. Ooh. Oh shoot. I have the sound. We can't. I don't think we
share
can
your
play
screen.
that.
Share your screen.
I can't play that. No. That's copyright. Can't play that.
Oh, you can't play it.
Can we play it?
No.
Can we play it? No. Look. So start yours at the very beginning, and we can talk you through it.
Okay. Ready?
Right.
Go.
Oh no.
The sound, Richard.
All right, there we go. I muted it. So you got
Mine's
Peter.
not loading. Oh shit.
I got what? So I got Peter and MJ Zendaya are just on a rooftop.
Oh, they're strange.
They're what do you mean strange? Oh, here. Did you start
on a rooftop? No, it was like the announcement for the trailer.
Got it.
You know, Strange is in it.
And so he's public enemy number 1 because of what happened with Mysterio. So they're kind of laying that on a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, was that? What's his name? Did I miss it? No. Yeah, this
probably swinging through the city. She's covering it. We saw this. Peter Parker, public enemy number 1.
They don't like him.
He's in jail.
Yeah, because that's the big thing after the last one, Far From Home, is that everybody knows who he is. Nobody likes him. Nobody likes this guy.
Yep. He's trying to go. Oh, look at him. He's trying to go to college. It looks like he's trying to go to school. Holding hands.
It's a Sony movie. They made that.
Sony. Yeah, here we go.
How about that? Yeah, there's Doctor Strange.
Wait, I'm a little bit behind you.
Oh boy, you seeing Strange?
I'm seeing. They're talking to him. He's got. Hang on. So I saw the Sony thing. I'll skip. Oh, there's Strange. There you go.
There you go.
Yep. Steven.
Yeah. Now he's in school.
Yep. He looks like he's got the Night Monkey outfit on.
Yeah. There's Wong. Wong's in the house.
Wong is in the house. Wong's having a minute, man.
Yep, he's doing all right.
He's going to be in the other movie too.
Now Strange is going downstairs. He's got some crazy magic now. He's talking to Peter. He's throwing stuff around. He's doing hand gestures. Now he's winging around a thing around the top. Oh, we got all kinds of crazy rings.
Oh, he's trying to make everyone forget that he's Spider-Man.
Boy. Now he's talking about Ned. He's telling him to stop talking.
Oh, he's fucking up the spell. Yeah.
Yeah, look at this. It's chaos magic, Wanda. What just happened? He said.
Oh, he fucked something up.
Hey, this Christmas. Look at him in the suit, bouncing around the city. His suit looks pretty good.
All right,
oh, now we're
back behind you.
this is gonna be a very Doctor Strange movie, is what it looks like.
I'm kind of into it though.
You liking it?
You're trying to live 2 different lives.
Oh,
He did the thing. Iron Spider.
There's Happy Hogan. He's in the house. What's that? Is that a green
Who's
goblin?
coming out? That's a goblin. That's a pumpkin bomb.
Pumpkin bomb?
That's a pumpkin bomb.
Oh shit! Oh, Doc Ock.
Oh,
Doc Ock is up in the Alfred Molina.
there he is.
Alfred Molina. All right,
Wait. We're not done yet.
that was probably torture for people to listen to, but we had to do it.
Come on, one more thing. Show me one more thing.
Oh, that's just
That's it.
PS5 controller at the end. So, folks, there you go. Spider-Man.
Live reaction. We got no audio. I got no audio on that, but
Yeah,
Spider-Verse confirmed though.
you got that.
Live action Spider-Verse confirmed.
You got that straight.
Mhm.
Yeah, we did, and like we already knew all this, unfortunately. But yeah, Alfred Molina pops up, Doc Ock, so that's good.
And Green Goblin. So we did
I
get a
gotta go
pumpkin
back-
bomb in there. So
I gotta go
guess
back real quick here, right? Was
Yeah.
that? Oh shit! I fucking I'm off of it.
What?
Was that?
Come on.
Oh Jesus Christmas!
Now I'm
Well-
also. Did you do it with sound? I didn't have any sound in mine.
No, I
just did it
didn't.
muted.
I didn't.
Yeah.
It would have come out over the air. Oh no, that's a cop. I was looking at. I wanted to see if that was Matt Murdock when he was in the thing. It's not.
No, but I'm guessing that
It's not.
I would love, since he's in the police station, I would love Matt and shit for brains there. Foggy to show up and be like, we got this.
Oh my god! So that
Yeah.
was a live reaction. Sorry we didn't play it on the thing. I just feel like that we would have gotten that shit.
We would have gotten in a lot of trouble.
Shit would have gotten taken down. So we can't.
All
do
right. So where were we?
We were talking about the Ad Man episode with the Mountain Dew.
The Mountain Dew is awesome. I
Sorry.
once came up with it someone was taking a marketing class and Mountain Dew was like their thing. And I came up with a great slogan for Mountain Dew. And it brought me back to those days. Right. Okay. So back in the day,
Slogan.
who drinks Mountain Dew?
Me.
Okay.
I do.
Typically, I'm talking about the larger demographic. Like who drinks Mountain Dew? What is associated with Mountain Dew?
Energy.
Okay. More like the
Hardcore.
lack of energy. No.
Fuck.
No. What
Why don't
Okay.
you're the Ad Man. Why don't you
Okay.
tell me what
ultimately, what Mountain Dew tries to do is it tries to market itself as this extreme soda, right?
Extreme soda. Fuck.
But
I got
really-
there almost as soon as you did.
But really who drinks Mountain Dew? And those are the people who have no energy, who are sitting on a couch all day playing video games. Mortuous, thank you very much. Gamers, live action role players.
I
People
know
that-
that. I'm not stupid. I'm smarter than you.
So my whole ad campaign was basically leaning into the people who drink Mountain Dew and being unapologetic for it and having the slogan "Do you." DEWU.
DEWU. Do you?
Like do you. Like
Do
it
you.
doesn't matter what you do. You want to ride a skateboard, fine. You want to sit in your mom's basement and pleasure yourself to
Yeah.
like tentacle porn, fine. Do you, man.
Do
This is
you?
what we're all about. We're not about, telling you, you have to be an athlete to drink this or you have to be, Tony Hawk. Do you, man?
Do you?
Do you?
That would have sold.
That would have sold.
That would have definitely sold. I love Mountain Dew, and I'll tell you, nothing's better than a nice, tall Fountain Dew from Taco Bell. For some reason,
Do you go Baja Blast? You go original Mountain Dew.
normally original. If they have the code red, I'll dip into the code red every once in a while. That is, although I haven't had the code red in forever. I don't even know if they still make it, but I did like it. The regular Mountain Dew, for some reason at Taco Bell, it's a little bit better.
It's something fountain sodas, man.
Yeah.
Fountain sodas are just way better than
Yeah.
canned or bottled sodas for some reason.
Somebody tell Mac that we just did a 3-minute breakdown of it. But
Yeah.
thanks, Mac.
Thanks, Mac.
I know you got to dip in and out. Thanks for tuning in. But yeah, if you go back, it's a riveting 3-minute live watch through where we did not play any of the audio, but we watched the whole thing. And yes, Alfred Molina is in it.
Yeah. And I assume that as is Willem Dafoe.
I would assume because we did see a green goblin.
We did see a pumpkin bomb.
Pumpkin bomb. All right, let's rip through the final 3 episodes of Dave, which
Yes.
might have been the 3 strongest episodes of
Yes.
Dave season 2. We'll start with episode 8 called "The Birds," where Dave gets kicked out of his Hollywood pad and moves back in with his parents. Now, this episode Well, maybe you could argue that the last episode was a little bit more emotional, but this one was up there because this is where it kind of comes to a head with what a piece of shit Dave really is. When his mom's like, you don't know anything about me. Like, you don't know that your father's depressed. You don't know anything about it. You don't know his favorite fucking color. Like, you don't know anything about us.
It's tan again.
And it's tan.
What I think the most heartbreaking thing for Dave in this moment is he actually goes through the trouble of making company chicken and his mother telling him, I don't like this. I make this because you like it. Like your big thing for us, this show of appreciation, is to make something you like. Like that's
right. You like it. He's like, I make this for you because you like it. Right. Amazing.
Yeah.
And then like he just has a breakdown. She's like, I don't even know you. But how about when he's like, I'm going to take a shower. And his mom's like, don't be late for dinner. And he's like, I will be here. And he goes and prints out like 6 photos of like 90s babes or whatever it was. And then he goes into the shower and he like fogs them up on the shower. It's like Mila Kunis and stuff like this. So maybe it was 2000s, whatever it was.
Whatever it was. But Jesus Christ.
The papers in the shower are just like falling apart, and then he just nozzle and just like blasts himself.
He starts cramming them down the drain.
So bad.
Oh, the lengths you used to have to go to. But I never did that. I never actually used the condensation to stick a picture on a glass shower.
No,
that was incredible.
I never had a glass shower. So I always had like a shower curtain. So
we're curtain kids. That wouldn't have worked for us.
Curtain kid, it would have been a disaster. Even more of a disaster than for him. But then he's back in there. And then the other great part of this episode was he plays songs for Mike. And the first song he plays for Mike is the fucking Me Too song. It's so it's so offensive. And Mike's just like, do you have any idea like what's going on in society?
And he doesn't, because the first line of the song is like, do you want to have sex? Me too.
It's so bad.
It's so far off of like what that is about.
You can never play that for anybody or whatever he says. He's like, that can never happen. But then he plays the Alley song,
which I called from like the first couple episodes. I'm like, that's going to be the song that turns the whole thing around.
And it was a great song. It was an emotional song, and it was great. And
I loved her reaction to it, where she said to him, so it's basically like, you're cool with my feelings unless it's something that you don't want. Or basically like, you're cool with me feeling like that.
Right.
But
you could tell that she was moved by the song, and she liked the song. And then she was like, well, I just kind of got over you. And then like they could have had a breakthrough, but then he's like, oh, it's just a song. Like he's just like, it's got nothing to like, and clearly that's not true. But he says it's just a song. And then they have like a weird thing. And then he's like, and then she's like, I don't want anybody to hear that though, because it's very personal. I was like, a lot of it's very much about me.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, what? Because then he was like, he thought at the very least he was going to play the song, maybe get back with her.
Right.
And now he's like, I can't do either. And it's like, you're right. It's finally like shit's not going his way. Finally.
Which leads us to episode 9 of him digging deeper into what is his motivation. And we get probably the greatest cameo on television this year.
What are we, 10 years old? I've seen every cock on the planet.
Biff Whiff himself, who is a fake Rick Rubin, which was unbelievable. I mean, do you think he did this prior to I Think You Should Leave, or like did they happen at the same time? Is this we having a Biff Whiff moment?
I think Biff Whiff is the biggest thing in Hollywood right now, and I don't know what was filmed first. I want to say I Think You Should Leave, because that was supposed to be out last year and the pandemic booted it. So whether it was filmed first or not, I bet he got cast in that first.
Mm-hmm.
But I bet it's pretty similar, because like they came out around the same time, so they probably were both filmed like a year ago. Like
and I'm telling you, Biff Whiff
killed it.
Not only that, one of my favorite lines of the entire season was when the guy who was Rick's guru or his guy. Yeah, they pull Dave out of the tank. Atoms. Pulled him out of the tank, and he's like, "How the how the fuck long do you leave him in there? And he's like, I don't know. Rick's got me juggling like 4 or 5 guys right now. Like there's other people there that they're doing this to. And Biff is supposed to be like a fake Rick Rubin.
Yeah.
I thought that was one of the funniest things.
This is the episode where Dave is talking to himself, but he's bald and naked. He's hairless and naked. And they're having like a conversation between the two of them. But like he basically gets him to learn new songs. And I saw that Little Dicky tweeted out after this that was the favorite thing he's ever done was episode 9.
It was really well done insofar as like the imagery of, and I don't want to get too in the weeds with this stuff, but like him eating Gata. The Gata's like take me and send, like, you know what I mean? And that again, all of that stuff worked its way until the last episode.
Yeah.
Where it's him just taking from everybody.
Right.
You know, and then he has this
he's gonna perform at the VMAs.
And he has this huge, elaborate, self-indulgent fucking thing where he's gonna perform surgery on himself on stage.
Which is actually an idea that Mike liked because he's like, they're gonna keep on there.
Yeah, what are they gonna do? Can't stop you. Yeah.
It is pretty nuts. Yeah, they had the whole thing, and he already yelled at Gata earlier because Gata, you see in this episode, is like selling like launch party tickets to people just to like make extra money and all this other stuff. And which is also funny in this episode. So Dave has had Peanut getting ready to be released for the longest time. And then the day it's released, Ariana Grande has a surprise album, which is like in that world is got to be something that you always got to be kind of worried about.
And so we're in the middle of that right now because now Kanye West and Drake are threatening to drop albums on the same day. This is a real thing. Like this just happened today. Like this didn't happen today, but do it. Well, then they're like, and then Kendrick Lamar's secretly been working on an album, so he's gonna drop an album the same day, and like
shit.
What who are you gonna? Yeah.
But ultimately they end up and like they give you the real swerve as an audience, and they end up performing a song together, and then they go on tour together, and it's Gata and Dave and whatever. That's
in Delaware.
Well, they were big in Delaware. That's hilarious.
Big
in Delaware. Like, are you fucking serious right now? He's like, and you guys are #1 comedy album, so take that, Anthony Jeselnik. He's like, what? Where are we on the charts? He's like 92, like top 100.
And I loved that Gata's family calls him Dave. His real name is Daviante. That's his real name.
Yeah, it's crazy. A couple of
Daves. But I think so. I hate to bang this drum as much as I do, but like being a mental health advocate, one of the great, wonderful things that this show does with Gata specifically is, when you are struggling with these issues, you're struggling with mental health, and then you have like a real emotional reaction to something that you're justified.
Mm-hmm.
Like Gata's right to be pissed at Dave. Gata's right to be pissed at his family. Right.
Oh yeah.
But everyone just casts it off as being like, well, you're being crazy. Right. Like, no, fuck you. Like, I'm not. Like, I have feelings and I am justified. Like, I thought that was so wonderful to see on TV that someone who is struggling with bite, and they're like, you're ramping up. And he's like, no, I'm not. Like, I've been fucking working my ass off and you're giving me nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that was a wonderful moment.
And I think that's why, that's why Gata's character too is just so important to the whole series. Like, there's not a lot of people that get that in depth into everything that he's dealing with than he does. And
there was like I say, that raw moment between the two of them.
Oh, it's great. I'm like, they're really good actors. Cause maybe they've had a conversation like that, but maybe they haven't. It's like, but they just seem to be going back and forth so well. And it's like, it gets intense. Like, it really does.
And there's that part where he's like, I just gave you $8,000 or something, and he's like, I'm not asking you for money. I'm asking you to put me on a song, like bring me out with you, like I think he used it like put me on. I want you to hook me up, with this.
He's like
put me on a track
for a song. He's like, well, you've never asked me for a song. It's like a whole thing.
I shouldn't have to ask you.
So where do you think they're going to go in season 3? First of all, do you want a season 3? I assume
I do, absolutely. And I want it to be
about
on the road. I want to see them on the road. Like just grinding it out, and eventually, because there's so much stuff, there's so much content there that shit you can fuck up on the road,
and bring Allie back too. at some point, or like
At some point, yeah.
So Dave needs to like find Allie because Allie's got that boyfriend who seems just like a
normal dude. Like you want to hate him, but at the point they were having a bit of banter where I'm like, this guy's all right. Like I wanted to hate him, but he wasn't that bad of a dude. He wasn't that big of a dick, you know?
Well, and I think I think this show's too good to have him be like such a loser, you know? Cause like, you're going to be like, well, I don't know. Like this guy might treat Allie better than Dave. Like,
and he wouldn't be and he's normal and she's normal.
So there'll be some of that, I think, next season too.
I would love to see the other girl.
Emma.
I would love to see Emma on the road as like documenting the whole thing, like doing photography and videography on the tour. Like that would be so that he has his team with him.
And I would love for Dave's dad to either meet Doja Cat or some other celebrity and just see what that goes down like.
And cum himself.
And have him just absolutely cum his pants. Yep.
But Dave is good. It's a wonderful, wonderful show. And I'm glad that they kind of turned it around.
All right.
Pick of the bomb. Pick of the bomb. Pick of the bomb. Pick of the bomb.
All right. Oh, yeah. By the way, did we answer this question in the chat? Gay to bipolar in real life? I believe yes. Yes, he is. Pick of the pod time now. Ryan, would you like to kick, receive, defer, or you may also choose at this time?
I will defer to you.
So I finally watched Werewolves Within, the Sam Richardson movie, also starring, I think it's pronounced Melania Weintraub. She is you've seen her in, what's the commercial?
Lily, the AT&T.
AT&T? Yeah, Lily AT&T commercials. And she is an excellent actress. Like, she needs to be in more than just commercials. She was great in this movie. Also, you've definitely seen her. She's in everything. Her name is Michaela Watkins. She was on one season of SNL, and she has popped up in a million other shows. She was in this movie, and I tweeted about it, and she liked the tweet, so she is now officially a friend of the podcast.
That's all you got to do. All you got to do is like the tweet.
Mm-hmm. Did you look her up? See what I'm talking about?
I'm looking at her right now. She looks like, where do I know her from?
Yeah, she's been in like every sitcom probably for like an episode or two. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
she's great. I love her.
I love her.
I love her very much.
She's done a lot of voice. She was in Big Mouth.
Yeah. So Werewolves Within was great. Definitely a little bit more comedy than horror. Like, I don't know if they're billing it as a horror movie or not, but Sam Richardson, obviously from the Detroiters and Little Buff Boys and everything else. It was a good little film. Unfortunately, it's not streaming anywhere right now, but it was like $6 if you want to rent it. She
was on that show Wayne that I really liked on Amazon Prime. So I think she played his mother.
All right. By the way, I somehow stumbled upon this. I guess friend of the podcast who we went to high school with, actress Megan Ferguson.
Yes.
She is in the new season of Gossip Girl.
Yes, she is. She plays one of the teachers.
Yeah. How about that?
Not a friend of the podcast.
No, that was probably too generous.
That was too generous. Definitely not.
She didn't care for us, but
no.
But
that's okay.
What are you going to do? Really, at the end of the day,
you can't please them all. You can't please them all.
Off my back. All right, Ryan, what do you got?
So I have two. So I have one is a song. There is a man by the name of Corey Wong, who is one of the best rhythm guitarists in the game right now. He made his bones playing for a band called Wolfpack. You would know him. He wears like those weird striped shirts. He just did a song with a jazz fusion band who I've been following for some time. They do jazz fusion covers of like all these popular songs. They're called Dirty Loops. They just did a song called Follow the Light on Corey Wong's web show on YouTube. It fucking rips. It's like a jazz fusion funk song. A guy named Henrik Linder plays bass for Dirty Loops and is one of the best bass players I've ever seen. Okay. So definitely check that out. He does a bass, you know that Tom Morello, that like that like weird sound of Tom Morello. He does a bass solo with that pedal.
Oh, okay.
It's incredible. So check that out.
Yeah.
There's a show on Netflix that just had its first on Stars that just had its first episode. I watched it. I like where it's going. The show is called Heels.
I don't have stars. I want to watch this.
Yeah.
I loved Green Arrow, and Stephen Amell is Green Arrow. He's also like a legit wrestler. He's been in like a bunch of matches in real life, like in New Japan and like I think AEW.
Yeah, so it's a show starring him, and he's like a baby face, and it's like the small wrestling company that his dad started. And him and his brother, his name is Jack. Listen to these wrestling names, by the way: Jack Spade and Ace Spade.
Okay,
those are good wrestling names. So Jack Spade is
Spade. And there you go, have a king.
So Amell plays Jack Spade, the older brother who's like keeping the company going, and his brother Ace is the heel. So like they're trying to, there's a lot of sibling rivalry, but they're also rivals in the company. So it's a lot of that. So I like where it's going. This could be good.
CM Punk's in that show, I believe.
Yes, but it's called Heels, and it's on Stars. And I think they had their first episode last week.
All right, nice. Well, that'll do it. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Dork Podcast. You can subscribe to the podcast wherever you get it. Leave us a review. We would appreciate that. If you get a second. Email in your submissions to Should I Have Bought This dorkpodcast at gmail.com. Follow Davey on Twitch at rvond. And YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/dork podcast. We stream these episodes every Monday night, 8:45. Next week, couple of things in the hopper here. We'll tweet out what we're gonna do.
We'll figure it out.
I've narrowed it down to a couple of things. We can discuss it, but thanks for listening. And Ryan, one last thing. What do they say about wombats?
Square buttholes, baby, or square poops. They don't have square buttholes.
No, they might. We don't know.
You're going to have problems, just like everything else. But stay positive and stay strong. Stay positive and stay strong.